Just recently, a 33-year-old lost his life while touring the Grand Canyon. Investigations as to the exact cause have led to scary discoveries hidden in the Grand Canyon. Deep within the canyon lies an area few ever reach, a place hikers quietly refer to as the Forbidden Zone. Now, recent explorations have led to the discovery of something completely unexpected. Something that now challenges long-held beliefs about the Grand Canyon's history and what might still lie beneath it. Join us in this video as we explore the details of what scientists found in the forbidden area of the Grand Canyon that terrified the world. The terrifying discovery in the forbidden area of the Grand Canyon. A team of scientists working in one of the most remote areas of the canyon made a discovery that has surprised experts all over the world. It is nearly impossible to get to this area of the canyon, which hikers frequently refer to as the Forbidden Zone. Deep inside the granite walls, it is encircled by perilous cliffs and slender ledges that very few people ever venture to investigate. The researchers were looking for evidence of rock slides and erosion on the canyon's cliff faces using specialized laser scanning equipment. As they browsed the pictures, they came across an extremely odd thing. The scans showed faint outlines of what looked like hollow spaces or chambers hidden inside the limestone, more than 100 feet above the river. To confirm what they had found, a group of experts climbed down using ropes and discovered something that no one expected: a set of carved stone rooms that appeared to be man-made. There were 3 chambers in total, connected by narrow tunnels. The walls were smooth and curved in perfect shapes, very different from the rough, broken patterns created by natural erosion. Inside, the team saw stone platforms, neatly placed rocks, and faint marks that looked like they had been made by tools. These signs made it clear that the chambers were not natural caves. They had been built by someone long ago. One of the largest rooms was about 40 feet long and 20 feet wide, large enough to suggest that whoever made it had knowledge of design and structure. What caught the team's attention the most, however, was something found inside one of the upper chambers. On top of a stone pedestal sat a strange metallic disc, about 12 inches wide, with a small bowl-shaped dent in the center. The object looked old, but it was unlike anything ever seen in this region. The scientists used portable X-ray scanners to test the metal, and the results were shocking. The disc was made from a high arsenic alloy that also contained traces of platinum-like elements. This combination does not exist naturally in the canyon's rocks. It could only have been made through a complex refining process that scientists did not think existed in ancient times. The discovery of this object raised serious questions. How could an ancient group have created or obtained a metal like this? Some researchers suggested it might have come from trade with another civilization, far from the canyon. Others believed it could have been made locally using methods that have been lost over time. Either way, the existence of this disc suggests that ancient people who once lived in the region were much more advanced than historians have believed. The placement of the disc was also strange. It was positioned carefully in the middle of the room, resting perfectly on a smooth stone base. This made experts think it might have been used for ceremonial or spiritual purposes. The surrounding space gave the feeling of importance, almost like a small shrine or sacred spot. It was not the sort of thing that was mistakenly left behind. Scientists found thick calcite remains on the walls of one of the lower rooms, showing that the area was first filled with water. They think that this might have been a forgotten underground pool or spring. If correct, it shows that the chambers were built close to a natural water supply, which would have been quite helpful in such an arid area. It also raises the chances that the builders chose this site for symbolic as well as practical needs. At the far end of the water chamber, researchers also discovered a large stone slab with strange carvings. The designs showed loops and circles that repeated in a pattern but did not match any known writing or art from Native American or early European history. Scientists are still studying the site carefully, but many believe it could be one of the most important archaeological finds in modern times. If the hidden chambers deep inside the canyon walls could show traces of a forgotten civilization, then what other shocking secrets might the wider Grand Canyon still be hiding under its rocks and sands? Stay tuned for more. Secrets and strange discoveries hidden beneath the rocks. The Grand Canyon in northern Arizona is one of the greatest wonders of nature. It stretches for about 450 kilometers and is deeper than almost anyone can imagine. It is even larger than the states of Rhode Island and Delaware combined. Each year, millions of people come from all over the world to see its beauty. But beyond the huge cliffs and colorful rocks, the Grand Canyon hides secrets that reach back millions of years. Inside it are fossils of ancient animals, strange rock patterns, and even mysterious stories that scientists still try to understand. One man who found something amazing there was Professor Alan Krill, a geologist from Norway. During a trip to the Grand Canyon with his students, he noticed a large boulder sitting near a walking path. Thousands of people had walked past it before, but no one had ever looked closely. When Krill examined it, he saw unusual markings that caught his attention. He took photos of them and sent them to his colleague Stephen Rowland, a paleontologist at the University of Nevada. After studying the pictures, Rowland realized that Krill had discovered something very special: the oldest footprints of a vertebrate ever found in the Grand Canyon. These footprints were made about 313 million years ago by early egg-laying animals that walked across sand dunes. The marks showed that the animal moved its legs one side at a time, the same way cats and dogs walk today. This simple discovery gave scientists new information about what life looked like long before the dinosaurs existed. Another important place in the Grand Canyon is Rampart Cave, known for its incredible fossils. In 1936, a team from the U.S. National Park Service explored the cave and found remains of the Shasta ground sloth, a large animal that lived about 11,000 years ago. These sloths could weigh around 225 kilograms and lived on desert plants. Sadly, in 1976, vandals broke into the cave and started a fire that destroyed about 70% of the fossil remains. Before that happened, scientists had studied layers of dung that were as old as 40,000 years. The evidence showed that sloths once lived in cooler Ice Age conditions and later survived in warmer, drier times. Since the plants they ate were still growing when the sloths disappeared, experts believe humans hunted them until they became extinct. One of the biggest mysteries in the Grand Canyon is something called the Great Unconformity. It is a missing part of the Earth's rock record. Normally, rocks form in layers that show each time period in Earth's history, but in some parts of the canyon, a huge section of time, around 500 million years, is missing. In fact, some layers in the canyon jump from rocks that are 1.4 billion years old to ones only 500 million years old. Scientists studying tiny minerals called zircons found that they had formed deep underground, nearly 7 kilometers below the surface. This means that massive layers of rock once existed above them but were later eroded away. Many experts think this happened when the ancient supercontinent Rodinia began to break apart about 800 million years ago. The land rose, the surface rocks cracked and wore away, and with them disappeared many fossils that could have told us more about the history of life on Earth. Not all the canyon's mysteries come from science, though. In 1909, the Arizona Gazette printed a strange story claiming that a man named G. Kincaid, who said he worked for the Smithsonian Institution, found hidden Egyptian artifacts in the Grand Canyon. According to the newspaper, Kincaid discovered tunnels filled with mummies, weapons, carvings, and strange statues deep inside the rocks. The article claimed the Smithsonian would soon investigate, but no more reports ever followed. Later, the Smithsonian said there was no record of any researcher named G. E. Kincaid and no Egyptian site in the canyon. Most historians think it was just a made-up story, though some still believe the truth was covered up. Even in recent years, the canyon has seen tragic discoveries. In 2021, a man named Gabor Berchitom from Hungary went missing while hiking there. Search teams later found a body, but it turned out to be Scott Walsh, another man who had vanished in 2015. A few days later, Gabor's body was found about 130 meters below the canyon rim. Investigators said he had fallen to his death. If the Grand Canyon has already revealed traces of lost civilizations and ancient mysteries, then what hidden areas remain off-limits today, and what reasons could be so great that even are forbidden to enter them? Let's delve deeper. More hidden dangers and protected secrets. The Grand Canyon is one of the most famous natural wonders in the world, covering more than 1.2 million acres along 278 miles of the Colorado River. While most of it is open to visitors, there are several places that are completely closed to the public. These forbidden areas have created many stories and rumors about lost treasures, alien activity, and ancient civilizations. But officials say the real reasons for the closures are safety, preservation, and respect for cultural and historical sites. One of the most restricted spots is the site of the 1956 airplane crash, where two planes collided in the air above the canyon, taking the lives of 128 people. Cleanup teams removed much of the wreckage, but parts of the planes and human remains still lie in the canyon. The area is closed to protect what remains and to honor those who died. Visitors can still visit the Grand Canyon Cemetery, where 29 unidentified victims are buried together in 4 coffins. Another closed location is the Orphan Mine, found just 2 miles from the Grand Canyon Village. It was once one of the richest uranium mines in the United States, operating between 1953 and 1969. A tourist lodge with a swimming pool and dance area was even built beside it. After the mine closed, the land became part of the national park, but it was later sealed off due to possible radioactive contamination. Although officials tested the soil and said it was not dangerous enough to be labeled a toxic site, they have not shared all results publicly. Many believe the area remains unsafe. Other mines in the canyon are also closed for similar reasons. The H mine and Base mine, for example, were asbestos mines and are sealed because of contamination risks. The Park Service has also shut off access to all old mines to prevent accidents or exposure to dangerous materials. The Cave of the Domes, once open to hikers, was closed in 2020 to protect bats and other cave life. Officials later extended this closure to all caves that fit their definition, deeper than 50 feet and narrower at the entrance. This rule means large open caverns like Redwall Cavern remain accessible. Some closed areas are ancient cultural sites connected to the early Native American tribes. Like and subscribe.